People often say that New Year's is a time for reunion. From the moment the clock strikes midnight, we're taught a universal truth. Family is where you return, where new beginnings begin, the bond that's supposed to be essential during moments of transition. But what happens when the very idea of going home becomes a weight that leaves you exhausted? Right now, across the United States and around the world, there's a quiet epidemic unfolding. It plays out inside millions of households, especially as the new year approaches. And yet, it remains one of society's deepest taboos. Adult children are making painful decisions, not going home for New Year's with their parents or siblings. They choose to be alone or with friends instead of attending family gatherings. From the outside, it can look selfish, lazy, even ungrateful, a child who doesn't value tradition, a parent who's been abandoned. But when you look beneath that absence, the story is rarely about anger or indifference. Instead, it's about survival. Why do people do this? Is it impulsive? Or is it a desperate attempt to protect their own sense of peace? In this video, we're going to explore the psychology of people who don't go home for New Year's. We'll dismantle the myth of sudden selfishness, uncover the accumulated wounds amplified by holiday pressure, and examine the toxic dynamics, from emotional neglect to narcissistic control, that make going home feel unbearable. If you're struggling with guilt or trying to understand why someone you love chose absence, this may be the explanation you've been searching for. This is the truth behind the absence. Let's begin. Not going home for New Year's almost never starts with a dramatic explosion. It starts with erosion, slow, quiet, almost invisible to everyone except the person living it. For years, sometimes decades, the relationship looks fine from the outside. Birthdays are acknowledged. Holidays are endured. Smiles appear in family photos. But beneath the surface, something is wearing away. Not because of one catastrophic event, but because of hundreds of small moments that settle like sediment at the bottom of a river. Psychologists call this micro-trauma, subtle criticisms disguised as concern, boundaries pushed a little further every holiday, a dismissive tone that signals your feelings don't really matter, the constant pressure to be who they want you to be, more successful, more cheerful, more perfect instead of who you actually are. Each moment feels minor on its own, but together they create an environment, and over time your body reacts before your mind does. You feel tense just thinking about booking a flight. You rehearse conversations before New Year's parties. You shrink yourself to keep the peace. What you once called family tradition becomes chronic anxiety that shows up every holiday season. This is the erosion most people never see. Not going home doesn't happen because someone suddenly stops caring. It happens because they slowly run out of capacity, energy, hope, emotional space to keep absorbing the same old wounds, especially when New Year's magnifies everything with expectations of forced joy and fresh starts. Before the decision to stay away comes exhaustion, and before exhaustion comes years of quiet wear and tear. That's the real beginning of absence, not anger, but depletion. From the outside, not going home often looks sudden, like someone woke up one morning, got mad, and decided to break tradition. Parents describe it as coming out of nowhere. Friends say, but everything seemed fine. This is the volcano illusion. A volcanic eruption looks sudden only to those who weren't paying attention to the pressure building underneath. Lava doesn't appear overnight. It forms silently, over years, and not going home works the same way. The last argument before the holiday, the breakdown at a family gathering, the hurtful comment, those are never the real cause. They're simply the moment when internal pressure becomes unbearable, the final trigger in a long chain of ignored boundaries, invalidated emotions, and unresolved pain, all intensified by cultural pressure around family togetherness and New Year happiness. To parents, it sounds like, you're not coming home because of this. To the adult child, it feels like, no, I'm staying away because this has been happening for 20 years. And New Year's just makes it worse. Absence only looks sudden because the suffering was silent. Not going home is rarely a reaction. It's a culmination, a release valve that can't stay closed any longer. Long before someone chooses absence, many were forced into roles they never agreed to. In dysfunctional or narcissistic family systems, identity isn't discovered. It's assigned. And those assignments shape a child's entire emotional reality. There's the golden child, the extension of the parent's ego, praised, protected, idealized. Their purpose is to complete the family's success story, often at the cost of authenticity, especially during New Year's conversations about what did you accomplish this year. Then there's the scapegoat, blamed for tension they didn't create. Often the truth teller, the emotionally sensitive one who refuses to accept dysfunction as normal. Ironically, scapegoats are often the healthiest and the first to step away when they stop absorbing everyone else's shame at holiday gatherings. There's also the invisible child. They survive by disappearing, staying quiet, needing little. They grow up self-sufficient, yet deeply uncertain whether they're allowed to take up space. And New Year's only magnifies that loneliness. And then there's the heaviest role of all, the parentified child, the child who becomes their parent's emotional caretaker, the mediator, the peacekeeper, the one responsible for making sure the New Year's celebration doesn't fall apart. They grow up believing love must be earned through service, sacrifice, and silence. None of these roles allow a child to develop a real self. They create patterns of guilt, obligation, and emotional suppression that follow people into adulthood. And when someone finally steps out of that role, when they try to become a whole person instead of a family function, the system reacts. It resists, it blames, it punishes. Because in families like this, the moment you reclaim yourself is the moment you become a threat, especially when you choose not to come home for New Year's. For many people, not going home isn't abandoning family. It's escaping a role that was destroying them, especially during holidays that amplify every unresolved conflict. Some wounds bleed, others don't, and the invisible ones often shape us the most. Emotional neglect is quiet. There are no bruises, no scenes, no single moment you can point to and say, that's when it happened. Instead, it's defined by what never happened, comfort that wasn't given, protection that didn't come, curiosity about your inner world that was never shown. Growing up without emotional attunement teaches a devastating lesson. Your feelings are either too much or not worth noticing. As adults, these individuals often appear strong, independent, even carefree, while carrying private pain that never fully fades. This is the dry well. You keep returning every new year, hoping this time there will be water. Maybe this time they'll listen to your resolutions. Maybe this time they'll ask how you really are after a year that changed everything. Maybe this time they'll meet you at the depth you've always reached for, instead of staying on the surface. But every holiday ends the same way. An empty bucket, a hollow chest, the familiar disappointment, plus the pressure of new year, new you, with no real support behind it. Most people don't stay away because of what their parents did. They stay away because of what their parents never could give. Because returning again and again to an empty well eventually becomes a form of self-abandonment, especially after the pandemic, when many learned that solitude could actually feel safer. For many, not going home isn't rejecting family. It's finally letting go of longing for a kind of love that never existed. And New Year's becomes a chance to reset instead of repeating the same cycle. The pain of what happened can heal. The pain of what never happened takes longer, because you're grieving a version of family you never got to experience. So why do people endure this for years, sometimes decades, before choosing absence? The answer lies in two powerful psychological forces: trauma bonding and the hope loop. Trauma bonds form when harm is mixed with warmth, criticism followed by New Year wishes, cold silence followed by rare affection, boundary violations followed by promises that this year will be different. The nervous system learns to confuse inconsistency with love. You start believing that if you try harder, give more, stay calmer, you'll finally earn the family you needed as a child. That's where the hope loop begins. It keeps you waiting, forgiving, returning to situations that slowly dismantle your sense of self, especially when New Year's promises a fresh start, but only repeats the same pattern. Hope isn't the problem. Hope aimed at who they could be instead of who they actually are is. Many adults stay because they were taught that absence is betrayal, self-protection is selfish, and wanting peace means they are the problem. So they endure, they shrink, they rationalize. They wait for a breakthrough that never comes, until post-pandemic burnout makes something undeniable clear. When someone finally chooses not to go home, it's not because they stopped loving their family. It's because they realize the loop won't change. And staying means losing themselves a little more every year. Not going home often begins with a painful realization. If I go back, I disappear. When people hear about someone not going home for New Year's, they often imagine a dramatic cutoff, a punishment, a selfish act. But absence is rarely an angry declaration. It's a survival strategy, and it doesn't always look the same. Some choose low contact, fewer video calls, shorter greetings, keeping conversations surface level. It's a way of saying, I still care, but I can't give you access to my inner world this holiday. Others use the grey rock method, minimizing emotional engagement, becoming neutral, predictable, unreactive, not because they're cold, but because reaction feeds old cycles of conflict, manipulation, and guilt. Grey rocking is protection, and after years of trying everything else, some choose full absence, not out of hatred, but because every smaller boundary was ignored. Absence becomes the last tool left to stop the cycle, restore mental health, and rebuild identity, especially when New Year's highlights personal resolutions. Psychologically, choosing absence brings grief, guilt, and relief all at once. You grieve the ideal New Year's gathering. You feel guilty for wanting peace. And you breathe easier when the chaos finally stops. Absence isn't rejection, it's clarity. It's the moment someone says, I can't change you, but I can protect myself. And for many, that absence, partial or complete, is the first time they truly feel safe during the new year. The world often assumes the hardest part is the loneliness, but the deeper pain, the one rarely talked about, is the grief that follows. Ambiguous loss. Your family is still alive, still posting countdown photos, still celebrating, but emotionally unreachable. There's no final goodbye, no ritual to help you move on. Just a lingering ache, a question mark where closure should be. You're not only grieving the party you missed, you're grieving the one you never had, the version of family that could protect you, understand you, or love you unconditionally during moments of transition. Letting go of that imagined family, the one you waited for throughout childhood, can feel like losing them twice. And then New Year's Eve arrives, an empty chair, a countdown that feels too quiet. Everyone else seems wrapped in warmth while you navigate grief no one knows how to comfort. And yet, even inside that grief, there is relief. The anxiety fades, the chaos stops. Your nervous system finally exhales, but relief often comes with guilt, as if choosing peace means betraying those who raised you. This is the emotional cost of freedom, the heartbreak of choosing your health over tradition. It's not easy, it's not simple. But for many, it's the only way to stop carrying pain they were never meant to inherit, especially as 2026 promises real personal change. Healing begins the moment you realize you can grieve what was lost and still move toward a new year you deserve. For many, not going home isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a life they were never allowed to fully live. Once the holiday noise fades and the guilt softens, something unexpected emerges, a sense of self that had been buried under years of roles, expectations, and emotional survival strategies. Reclaiming identity isn't sudden. It's gentle, slow. You begin asking questions you were never allowed to ask. What do I want this year? What do I enjoy? What feels safe for me? For the first time, your choices aren't filtered through fear of judgment or punishment. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for existing. You start trusting your inner voice, the one that was silenced for too long. Healing also means breaking generational cycles. Many adults choose absence not out of resentment, but clarity. This ends with me. They refuse to pass down chaos, emotional hunger, conditional love. They learn to parent themselves with gentleness. And if they have children one day, they give them the safety they never received during the holidays. Along the way, something beautiful happens. You discover chosen family, a partner who listens to the countdown with you, friends who feel like home, mentors, communities, connections built on respect, warmth, and emotional honesty, not obligation, DNA, or tradition, especially in the post-pandemic world where many are redefining what family truly means. This is where the cycle breaks. Not when you step away from the family you were born into, but when you begin building the family your soul always needed. Reclaiming identity is an act of courage. Creating chosen family is an act of liberation. Together, they lay the foundation for a new year defined not by pain, but by possibility. In the end, not going home for New Year's isn't really about breaking family. It's about redefining what New Year's means. For some, it's spent with those who raised them. For others, it's spent with those who finally make them feel safe. Both truths can exist. Absence doesn't mean you're heartless. It means you stopped walking into fire just because you were told you should. It means choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, healing over tradition. And that choice, as painful as it is deeply brave. As you step into 2026, you're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to build a new year shaped not by past wounds, but by the love you choose, the boundaries you deserve, and the future you finally allow yourself to live. And if this video made you feel even a little understood, I want you to know you're not alone. There are thousands of people walking this quiet, complicated path. If you'd like to stay connected, consider subscribing. We explore the hidden corners of the human heart every week. And if you're comfortable, share your experience or reflection in the comments below. Someone else may find strength in your story. Take care of yourself. You deserve healing.